If you've tuned into any of our previous webinars or listened to any of our communication over the past few months, you've heard us talk a lot about the reflation trade and the idea that we are going to see economic growth accelerate over the coming months through the end of the year. And part of the thesis, or part of the reason around that thesis has to do with the idea of vaccinations increasing. Now, there's a few charts on here. Let me pull up my laser pointer real quick. So the left side here denotes the United States, the right side denotes the United Kingdom. So why these two countries? Well, both have very robust medical systems and have had the ability to distribute the vaccine on a widespread basis and on a very efficient basis. So as you look at these numbers, these are vaccines distributed, and the top line here denotes the combination of these two. So the green, light green bar is at least one dose, and then the dark green, which is tough to see behind the window here, are citizens that are fully vaccinated. So the numbers that I think you should really pay attention to: at least one dose in the United States, 38%, fully vaccinated, 27%. And these numbers are going up by approximately 0.5% per day. Now we switch to the UK. They have almost 50% of their population with at least one dose. And then somewhat surprisingly, only 15 that have been fully vaccinated. But we've seen that even one dose can be fairly effective in preventing significant or severe symptoms of the virus. So now you go to the bottom here, and what you see is the actual case numbers over that time frame. So the US had a large peak over the Thanksgiving and Christmas holiday, large drop off, and then we've leveled off somewhat. So if you compare that to the United Kingdom, they've had a similar spike, large drop off, and their numbers continue to go down. So what we can see here is that in countries that are doing an effective job in distributing the vaccine and getting it out there, we're seeing case numbers either level or go down. I think that's going to be important going forward, as we're going to need that to continue this reopening and to have it be a more permanent reopening. Now, in comparison, we see both an emerging market country and then in a country in Europe that you'd think has a pretty robust infrastructure to distribute the vaccine, but for some reason, it just hasn't worked out as well. So the first country here is India. So very populous country, not the best medical infrastructure and the ability to distribute the vaccine on a widespread basis. So what you see in India is you only have 8% of the population that's been vaccinated and only 1.3% that's been fully vaccinated. Now, what's going on in terms of cases? Well, you've probably seen India in the news as their case numbers have absolutely exploded, almost north of 300,000 cases daily as of yesterday. And this was printed a few days ago. Now we look at Germany. Germany is one of the most developed countries in Europe, has one of the most robust medical infrastructures. And what we see here, 19.8% have received at least one dose, and then 6.7% of the population has been vaccinated. So those are pretty low numbers compared to the previous charts. What has happened to cases? You've seen cases come back up. Granted, there's been a little bit of a leveling, but the case counts are almost as high as they were back in the initial spike in the late fall and early winter.